we gonna look at this because I could not believe.
The idea of you coming from America to here, settling in potentially in Gaza, kicking Palestinians out, a lot of people would see that as settler colonialism.
It's not really colonialism, it's a return.
It's not that bad.
My grandparents were kicked out of Israel by Arabs who were trying to establish a Palestinian state, and they had to leave for their...
My grandparents were kicked out of Israel by Arabs who were trying to establish a Palestinian state. So this is why I always tell people, like, if you ask your white grandparents from Alabama about slavery, they're not probably gonna give you the right answer, right? They're not gonna tell you how the slaves were really treated. Like, your grandparents were not kicked out because they were trying to establish a Palestinian, by Arabs because they were trying to establish a Palestinian state. There was already a Palestinian state. Palestinians and the Arabs were already living there, and to be frank, so were Jewish people. Jewish people and Arabs were living together. They didn't have to kick out anybody to establish Palestine. But this is what I'm talking about. She said that shit with the utmost confidence. Why? Because that's what grandma told me. My grandma would never lie to me.
Their survival, and I'm just coming back and fulfilling their dream. That would be the first thing. The second thing is, I think that, and I know this is a minority view, I think colonialism gets a bad rap. Like, genocide is bad, but colonizing places that are genocidal and they have bad ideology, it's good to come in and correct their views.
What do you think should happen to the people who are already in Gaza?
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear what she said? She just said that this is the minority view, but you know, they got bad ideology. It's good to come and correct them. Boy, did she just hit y'all with the Cecil Rhodes South Africa argument? That's what it sounded like. She just hit y'all with the freedom. I did some oil over there. Let's go get us some freedom argument. Y'all know what y'all doing with that. Well, give it. Y'all know what y'all doing with that gold. Y'all know what y'all doing with them diamonds. Give me that. Let me show you what to do with it. That's what she said.
The people who are already in Gaza.
Bad idealizing places that are genocidal and they have bad ideology, it's good to come in and correct their views.
What do you think should happen to...
Do y'all understand the fucking irony of that statement? She's like, she couldn't even get genocidal out of her mouth because she probably realized, damn, that probably wasn't the right word for me to use. Being an Israeli, that isn't even from Israel, by the way. I think she's from the States. She moved to Israel. But she's like, being genocidal. Oh shit, probably shouldn't use that word. But that Freud came in and snatched his soul, didn't it? But to say genocidal with bad ideology, and then those people should be free to come, that it's a good thing for certain people to come in and correct it. First of all, bad ideology. I got a question, y'all. Is celebrating a literal rapist for sexually assaulting Palestinian prisoners bad ideology? Like, because it's not just the people. It's like television shows. It's the politicians who exonerated him and then justified it and then celebrated him as well. It's the politicians who also worked together to pass legislation to ensure that Palestinians would be overly held accountable for sexual assault accusations, while Israelis were not, because they said, "Oh, we deem if Israel deems that it's racially or religiously motivated sexual assault, then the punishment is double," right? Well, it's all that bad ideology. It's sterilizing a group of individuals that are also Jewish that came to your country because they have the same rights as every other Jewish person that arrives in your country, allegedly, right? It's sterilizing them because they're African. Good ideology, just out of curiosity. Is that good ideology, y'all? Is that bad ideology, as she put it? So, based off of her logic, it wouldn't be really all that wrong for those Arab countries to just come in and you know, teach Israel some good ideology, right? Wouldn't be all that wrong. Is hiding pedophiles, being a safe haven for pedophiles, is that good ideology or bad ideology? I'm just curious. Does she actually know what her country stands for? Or no, excuse me, what her side country, because you know, You know, Zionists, they got a main bitch and a side bitch. They got a main one on the side. Like, Israel's always their side because they always hop right on that goddamn plane. Woo! Y'all said bombs. See you later, guys. Let me know whenever the United States give you that money so y'all can finish resolving this issue, and I'll be back. Let's continue.
The people who are already in Gaza.
So I think that there's a couple of possibilities. The one that I think is the most realistic is we got to ask other countries for help. I know that Spain was willing to take a couple of million. I know Russia said they would take a couple of thousand.
So a lot of people that would
This girl said a couple of million, I don't think she actually has any idea how many Palestinians live in Gaza. First of all. Second of all, why don't y'all leave? Because your whole argument was just, I think it's okay to come to a group of people. Because what she suggested is like, if she would, that Israelis went there to colonize the area and to assimilate people so that they can live together peacefully, which is ridiculous and colonialist on its face. But now she's like, yeah, anyway, so after they get done assimilating, we need to send their asses on somewhere and make them somebody else's burden. Other countries need to assume the responsibility for our colonialism. Is this not Zionism in its purest form? A lack of accountability, deflection, gaslighting, and projection. That is literally, she's like giving a master class in Zionism 101 in like a 2-minute video. And she's not even done talking.
Sound like you're advocating for ethnic cleansing?
I don't think so, because Palestinian isn't an ethnicity, it's an ideology. And
she wants to ethnically, they want to, like, Palestinian is not an ideology. First of all, no, it's like it's their home. They're literally Palestinian people. And it's like, if you asked them, is what Hitler did ethnically? And they're like, yeah. And if somebody said, but y'all are a religion, y'all not a group of, like, that doesn't make any sense. Y'all are a religion. Y'all are literally a religion. If I decided today, well, probably not me, because they probably have a bunch of files on me, but if I decided today that I'm Jewish and I want to go on birthright, Israel would pay for it. It would be a free trip. I'm Jewish now. Is that my ethnicity? Palestinian Arabs are actually Palestinian Arabs. They're Palestinian Jews. Like, you can ethnically, it don't matter if they're going to the temple or going to the masjid. You can still cleanse them ethnically because they're both Arab. Oh, or Christian. They've literally, they have been cleansing the entire region. Doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter what their religion is. That's one thing for sure, at least in Gaza. So, but like, to make that argument as a Jewish person, who y'all swear to God that everybody is trying to ethnically cleanse y'all, but y'all just a religion. Palestine is not a religion, bro. It's not an ideology. They were born there. What the fuck do you do? That's so wild, bro. Just born, they're born there. You're like, yeah, it's an ideology. What? What? Bro, Palestine is now an ideology. That's how ludicrous these arguments have gotten.
It's an ideology that says that they want Jews dead, and so we want them as far away from Jews as possible.
So now Palestine's an ideology that said that that's as Palestine, the literal country, is an ideology now that they just woke up one day and the ideology supposedly is they want Jews dead. So now her argument is that they want them as far away as possible. So yeah, actually, she's advocating for ethnic cleansing. That's the short. She went a long way around saying, "Yeah, I'm advocating for it, but they're not really an ethnicity." So the technical answer to your question is no, I guess. So yeah, like, I want them cleansed, but not ethnically. Like, bro, she got a kid. Listening to this, that kid's gonna go to school and repeat this same argument.
The would-be settlers take us to the Erez crossing. It used to be the gateway into Gaza. The area has been closed off by Israeli soldiers, but the group is waved through.
Anyway, so I just had to show y'all that video because this woman, she sounded so nice and sweet, right? As she was literally advocating for ethnic cleansing. And I just wanted to just to remind everybody that Zionism is not foundationalized in any concrete logic. There is no legitimate justification for how they feel about the situation, right? There's no history that they can point to legitimately. There's no facts that they can rely on. They can't even point to their own book to justify what they're doing and why they're doing it, literally. It's just like what's happening in the West Bank. They will find a different excuse every single time. If y'all watch the video, I just did it the other day. I just did it about BRICS. I don't know I think I played it for y'all. No, man, let me see if I can find it for you. Maybe I did not play it for you guys. Oh, no, I didn't, because I didn't go live. I thought I played it, but I did not. So I'm going to find it for you guys to play. Give me 1 second. Because I'm pretty sure I did it like this. If I didn't do it this week, it was like the end of last week. I warned that this was coming. Palestine is going to apply to become a member of BRICS after the upcoming summit in October, and it's kind of a big deal. Now it's obvious. Palestine is going to apply to become a member of BRICS after the upcoming summit in October, and it's kind of a big deal. Now it's obvious how this is a huge deal for Palestine potentially. But if you zoom out a bit, it's actually a bigger deal because it gives us a little insight into how Russia feels about Israel's genocide in Gaza and how they plan to go forward strategically in dealing with it. Because as many of you know, BRICS countries, for the most part, have already expressed solidarity with the Palestinian people and have called out the genocide. But at this recent meeting with the Moscow ambassador to Palestine, Putin actually promised there would be an entire session devoted to Palestine at the next summit. What's more significant is that it was actually Putin who invited the Palestinian ambassador, and it is Putin and Russia who are inviting Palestine to apply to join BRICS. In other words, a lot of people were wondering where Russia actually stands on this issue. And finally, we are learning that Putin and Russia have chosen a side, and they've chosen Palestine. Some people believe that this is a combination move between both Russia and Iran to corner Israel into finally negotiating with diplomacy instead of bombs. Because although no one can really say what this means in the short term, what we do know is that BRICS countries have made it clear that they plan on protecting each other both economically and militarily. And Putin extending the olive branch to bring Palestine into BRICS officially means that he's signaling to the world that Russia is prepared to fight militarily to protect Palestine if they do get granted accession. So of course, I expect Israel to lash out because of this. And of course, the West will definitely lash out as well in order to protect Israel's interests. So I don't know how this is going to go, but it definitely lets us know how Putin is feeling, how Russia is feeling, and how BRICS is feeling about how Israel is conducting itself in the region. And furthermore, I'm not quite sure this is a step back from World War III or if this is a step a little bit closer to World War III, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But either way, it's good to know that a superpower is finally stepping up in some official way to protect Palestine. So yeah, so this was that video I did on, what day was that? August 27th. Oh, that was a couple days ago, right? What? Damn. So yeah, it was August 27th, a couple days ago. I literally said a couple days ago, I said, oh shit, Israel is about to lash out. There is no way that, because there's no way that Russia brings, because it'd be one thing if Palestine was just applying, because yeah, that's a big deal. But it was the fact that the way that went down is Russia invited the Palestinian ambassador to Moscow, had a conversation, Putin had a conversation with him. They make this agreement that after the October conference, Palestine will apply. But at the October conference, Putin promised that there will be an entire session dedicated to only discussing Palestine. And that's it. So it isn't just lip service. It isn't, you gotta remember, strategically speaking, Putin doesn't need to bring Palestine into the fold. And that actually just adds problems for BRICS. You're adopting a world breaker, a world breaking problem. I don't know how else to describe it. And you know that. And yet you are catering to this group that you can't gain anything from. And you know it's going to cost potentially lives to fight for them. That lets Israel know, okay, shit, Putin is not playing no more. And if Putin's not playing, whenever Iran decides to do what they do, that means Iran's not going to play, because now they know Russia and other military powers like China, for example, even Brazil, South Africa, they are now within their rights, based on their organization like NATO, to cooperate militarily. And whenever they be like, oh man, Russia's acting imperial. No, they're just doing what y'all would do for any NATO power. Because remember, NATO has an automatic trigger. If you mess with another NATO power, then they can go to war with you and NATO will approve. It's almost damn near a requirement. So now understand, Russia's aware of that. And last time I checked, Israel is a NATO power. So you don't want to trigger a situation where you become outstretched and outgunned too soon before you build up the military alliance. Remember, they're building up an economic currency to transition out from the dollar. Because you got to, if you go to war with, because that whatever happens with this situation, this is the end of Israel, but we all knew that if it's the end of Israel, we knew the empire is not far from falling, excuse me. So we knew this. So Putin's not stupid either. So that's part of the reason why BRICS is developing their own currency. BRICS got Saudi Arabia already. BRICS got Iran and obviously China. As far as agriculture is concerned, they got agriculture and oil, lithium, and all that stuff. In Latin America, they got, well, Venezuela's applying officially, so, and they're going to be included, of course. Largest crude oil supply in the world. And they got Brazil already, that has one of the largest oil supplies amongst a plethora of everything else. But I'm just not learning that Brazil actually has some of the largest gold reserves in the world that are only being tapped recently. It's like, you see, I know that there are a lot of people who are just like, damn, why doesn't Russia or Iran or whoever just go at Israel right now? And I get it. I mean, like, because that's probably what I would do. I would just say, fuck it, we got to go now. But in the context of the rest of the world, to make sure that more Palestinians don't suffer in the future, more Arabs don't suffer in the future, because you can't get this wrong. We know that. You can't get whatever happens next with Israel wrong, because other people will die in the region. Greater Israel becomes a greater possibility if you mess this up, if you rush things. So from a military strategic perspective, I understand it. I hate it. It sucks. But if you want to make sure another Palestine doesn't happen again in our lifetime, or what happened to Syria or Iraq, I mean, shit, you can make, we know that most of the wars in the Middle East that have taken place in the last 50, 60 years are because of who? So you want to make sure that that doesn't happen anymore. We got one chance to execute this, and I really don't trust it.